Cloud. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. So we're going to start with the basic stuff of the 3-5A. I'm going to share my chart and draw some stuff on it for you guys to understand that. If you're a complete beginner or if you're new to those mentoring sessions, please drop your questions in the chat. Be careful about your mic, people. Sometimes mics are left open and we can hear people in the background speaking. So please be mindful of that. And yeah, post a question in the chat and I'll review them as I go through the actual steps. Share screen. Okay. So the rules of the 3-5A is a reversal strategy, basically. So we are in a higher highs, higher low. We are making progress in an uptrend or in a downtrend, and we're planning to short it or to long it, changing direction. So if we have a 5-wave pattern like this one here, we're planning on shorting it and reversing. If we're going this way, then we're planning to long it. When you try to go again a little bit against the trend, because this is a reversal strategy, so you're planning to go against the trend, you need confluence around your trade to make it work as much as possible. If you're planning just an uptrend and you're trying to short it, you're gonna get wrecked for sure. So make sure that you have confluence and make sure that the rules of the Elliott waves are applied and are strong in your technical analysis. So in that specific case that we have right now, we have the 1 going to 2, we have an impulse wave, which is 1, retracement wave, which is 2, impulsing wave, which is 3, retracement wave, which is 4, to a final impulsing wave of the 5th wave. So in that specific situation, the rules are that the 2 cannot go past 0 like this one, it must stay above 0. The 3 cannot be the smallest. So in that case, it is not the smallest. It doesn't have to be the longest, but it must not be the smallest. And we have to have the rule of alternation in the Elliott wave. So if the second wave is simple, the fourth wave must be complex. And if the fourth wave is simple, then the second wave must be complex. That is a rule that you need to check on your chart as well. Complexity, now it's going to be a judgment call sometimes. Sometimes a little bit more in details, and you can zoom in. If you're charting on the 15 minutes, zoom in a little bit on the 5 minutes. Sometimes you're going to see complexity in those waves a little bit more when you zoom in a little bit in your chart. So those are the basic rules. So 4 cannot go past 1. That's a good thing as well. I see often people in the public posting that kind of chart. So the 4 is going like this, 5th is going. This is just not trend. This is not an Elliott wave, right? This is an Elliott wave. So when you have a valid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you validate your actual rules in there. That your rules are all checking those boxes. Now you want to take a look at your 1 wave. You want to use a fib trend-based fib extension from 0 to 1 back to 0, and not usually, you want to aim for the 5th to be at the 261.8 or the 361.8. In that specific case, the 5th wave is ending at the 261.8, which is super nice. Now, on different exchanges, you're gonna have different price actions. So sometimes you have a little bit different price action in those. Does it have to be bullseye on the actual 261.8? It doesn't have to. Treat it as a region, as any other support and resistance should be. Don't treat it as a specific target line, but use it as a specific zone. You need to see reaction at those levels. If price goes above here and is hanging in between the 261.8 and the 361.8, it's probably invalid. So be mindful of that and be honest with yourself on your chart. I see often people are just sending charts and they're like, yeah, it's still valid, it's still valid. Yeah, you don't have complexity, and the 5th is hanging in the middle of the 261.8 and the 361.8. That's 2 strike already. So you're just going against the actual rules of that strategy. So when you have a valid 5th wave, what you want to do, I like to do meeting, but I know Craig is starting to do it as well. I like to draw a trend line on the 2 and the 4, the 2nd and the 4, the 4th wave, to see weakness. Because again, we're gonna have, okay, here you go. Because again, we're trying to short an uptrend. We need confirmation. We need protection of our position. And for me, when I see a trend line like this, what I don't want to see, I don't want to see this, right? And in that specific case, if we see a bounce over here and you're trying to get short over here at that specific spot, because that would be actual A, B, and you're expecting C. For me, that's dangerous situation. Does it have to always break the trend? No. But for me, it's a nice confirmation that the price is showing weakness. So what I like to see this. Price breaking out of it, not passing 4, coming up, coming back down. This is what I like to see. And this is natural head and shoulder pattern. So we see the left shoulder, head, and the right shoulders over here. So when you have a fifth like this one, and you see retracement, and you put yourself an alert at this level, let me just draw right using this. At that point, now it's time for you to plan your trade to see if it's going, you see a little bit up like this one. Now it's time for you to plan your trade. So what you want to do to plan your actual entry, you take your Fibonacci retracement tool from 5 to the bottom of A, which is, this one is not identified yet, but it's pretty much A, right? So we're gonna do the short position. You enter the 61.8 of that specific retracement. So at the retracement of the fifth wave at the 61.8, you place a stop loss right above 5. And for your take profit, to just eyeball it to see if the trade is worth taking, you want to do the fib trend based fib extension again from 5 to A, and you bring it above at 5 again, and you aim for the 161.8. In that specific case, that would be a 3.3 risk ratio, which is more than enough to be validated to be worth taking. So yeah, I'm going to just delete those lines because I'm going to write it correctly right now. Like this one. So 61.8, add the 161.8. Okay, so now we have the ABC correction happening like this one, right? So when we have a valid B and you see the price coming back down, crossing A, now you have to do two things. One, you're gonna have to move your stop loss to the swing high. So if B is like this, you're gonna bring it the stop loss right above it. So about half risk in that specific situation. And you want to do another thing. You want to do the final take profit. So you take the trend-based fib extension tool from B to A, back to B. And you aim for the 61.8 of that move, the B move, which in that case, it's a 3-to-1 risk ratio, which is super nice again in that specific situation. That is covering the overall. So you can choose either the 161.8 as a take profit or the 261.8. It depends on which one is the closer to the 61.8 of the whole move. That's what I do. So I take a trend-based fib retracement tool from 0 to 5. And right now, the 161.8 is really closer to the 61.8 of the whole move than the 261.8. In that specific case, we're going to take that level as a take profit, which is a 3-to-1 risk ratio, and we love that already. So is that clear for the general rules of the 358? Now, added confluence. I know we want to treat a little bit more about confluence because confluence is key, in my opinion. When you see a divergence of price, I know you guys discussed that a little bit with Andrew on the Monday morning. I was a little bit away, so I couldn't really attend to all the actual mentoring. You guys talked about divergence and shark fin divergence. So shark fin divergence is when you use the InnovaTrade Pro indicator and you have a divergence of price. Okay, roll it back, going a little bit backwards. Divergence of price is when the price is making higher highs, like it is right now. 3 is a higher high, 5 is a higher high than 3, but the RSI is doing lower highs. So on the 3 and 5. So if we have a higher highs like this one here, and the RSI is doing lower highs like this one, that's a divergence. Bonus point if you have a shark fin divergence, which is the price coming overbought like this one, and crossing that overall MACD line that we have on the indicator. That's a bonus point because that's a sharp fin divergence. Strong source of reversal in the end. So added confluence again. We're going to treat the, I'm going to show you some other confluence that you can use in your trade as well in a few minutes when you're going to do live charting. Do you guys have any questions about general stuff that we treated right now, the 358 or the rules? I'm going to go in the chat. Yes, this is going to be uploaded on Teachable. Andrew is going to upload that. I'm not getting any control over that though. Do you use any conditional order for entry? No. No. I don't use conditional. We use limit. Okay, conditional will be that the price is crossing the 61.8 and you want to play it secure, right? You could do conditional. So price is going over here, crossing B, crossing the 61.8. You're not getting entered at the 61.8. Now you're waiting for a reversal. So you put an entry, a conditional entry at the 61.8. So if price continue upward, you're safe. But if price continue down, you're getting filled at the 61.8 level as well. The danger of that is that often on those really strong reversal, we get a snipe entry at the 61.8 level, and we get a reversal after that. So if you're okay with missing some trades, then yeah, you can do conditional if you're really insecure about that. when you put your limit entry on exchange, when you have an A and the price is going to be, uh, yeah, when you have a valid A and you see the price coming back up, you already know that this gateway is valid. So right now you should be ready to pull the trigger when the time comes. Crossing that trend line, A is coming back up. Now you want to plan your trade when the A is really fully formed. Very nice. Any more questions about the basic rules of the 3-5A?
Hey Joe, just a quick one. Just to double check, did you say the shark fin divergence is a good sign of
Yeah,
a? Okay,
in your favor, yeah, of course. So
okay,
a
good.
divergence of price in that situation it's already nice for the 3-5-8. If the 3 and the 5, you check the actual level on the right now it's not lining up, but if you see that the 3 and 5 it's a higher highs on the price action and the RSI is doing lower highs, that's a divergence. And if you have a shark fin divergence, then it's added bonus of a strong sign of reversal for you. So yeah.
Okay, excellent. Sorry, from Andrew's session, I took it the wrong way. Thank God you brought that up. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'd have been doing.
it's a very yeah, of course. In that specific case, it's yeah. Just to resume that on a TCL, if you're doing TCL and you see a sharp fin divergence on your TCL, which is trend continuation, so you don't expect to have a reversal on the TCL. You're expecting continuation like this one here. When you see a shark fin divergence, so higher highs, and the RSI is doing lower highs, and you have a shark fin divergence, you have to watch out for sure. That is a strong sign of reversal, and you're trying to continue its way up. So
I get
now
it.
in that specific situation, yes, you're gonna have to pay attention to that and not take the trade.
Just another one. When you're entering your 3-5-A trades, do you take any leniency on the entry point? Because this past week, I've just so many times it's just not touched entry. It's come really close, and am I just being unlucky, basically?
Yeah, what I do right now is that I put an alert right under my actual entry. And when I get triggered, I pay attention to the price action. Is it really, really close to my entry and not triggering my limit? Then I might market it to get in the trade. But I see the same thing as well. The price has a hard time getting to the 61.8. And when it does, it's like barely touching it and then it's revert back down. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm paying attention to that for sure. But sometimes I'm not in front of the computer, right? So I'm just
yeah. I've been doing the same just to stop like sitting there staring at the charts. But I
but it's
keep
not good
noticing
for your health. It's not
I'll
good for
put
your health to
alerts
sit at the
on
computer.
a yeah, I've got it is, isn't it? But yeah, I've been insane. I've been putting alerts on entry and then like it's not come up. I'll go back and check the charts and it's like I've missed entry ever so slightly. I didn't know if it's just me or
Yeah, just put an alert, a second alert right below your entry and take a look at the chart. Is it reacting? Because sometimes you're going to see huge wick at those levels. You see reaction. So now you can say to yourself, if it's coming right next to my entry, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to watch it go back down without me. If you're really, really close to your entry, it doesn't matter at that specific time. You're not going to mess up your risk to reward that much. But if you're really far away from your entry, yeah, don't take it because you're going to mess up your risk to reward in that situation.
yeah, yeah. No, of course, yeah. I've been that's why I've been leaving them because I'm like I don't want to like FOMO into trades and then lose it and have a worse. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thanks, Joe.
Okay, when 5 hit between 161.8 and 261.8, but then drop down and doesn't consolidate, is that still a valid? No, it's not a valid 5. If the 161.8 is not, it's hanging in between, I wouldn't take that. I want to be in the price region of 161.8 or 261.8. If it's not in the price region and hanging in between those levels and no reaction on those specific level as well, no, I don't want to take that. Good. So what I said today, I'm gonna do a little bit of live charting here. If you guys have any more questions, just drop them in the chat. I see CH1 coming up, like a few of them. What's the minimum we want to see A move below 3? Yeah, you want to, yeah, again, I'm going to go back to my drawing. Forget about this thing. You want to do a trend line on the top of 3 and the bottom of A, like this one, and clone it on the top of 5. So if your trend line, you're trying to short it, and your trend line is going upward, like this one is going downward. But if A would be above 3, then that channel will be upward, right? Pointing upward. This is not a good sign. So if your channel must be going downward if you're trying to short it. So price must the A must be at least past 3 minimum. Yeah, it needs to be past 3 minimum. So right now we have a few that pump really messed up every single charting we had. I don't have much Elliott wave in there right now. I know we have maybe a 3 here and 5, but I don't have a 1 wave correctly. But right now, what I see is that price could come down to a nice CH1 on entry on this one. I'm watching it to see if we don't have an actual Elliott wave like this one here. It could be a nice confluence, right? Because if we see the only time you want to snipe a fifth wave is when you see confluence like this one. You see a CH1 pattern, you chart it, you see a 3-5 in there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can snipe the entry because you have added confidence that this is the bottom of the trend and it's going backward, it's going up after that. So when you see that, you can even, if you're really adventurous, you can even get to the take profit of the actual Elliott wave, because when we see an Elliott wave like this one here, and we see A, B, and C more like this one here, sometimes when you plan your actual take profit, let's do A. 5 to A back to 5. In that specific case, it's the same thing. But sometimes you can see that your 161.8 of that move, it's even higher. So now you can even go for the 61.8, the 161.8 of the Elliott wave with the entry of the CH1, which is an even better risk reward in that situation. So yeah, pay attention to the Elliott wave. Sometimes in all your charting, you're going to see them and take that into consideration for sure. When you see a TC1, you take a TC1, which is trend continuation again, and you expect price to go higher, and you see an Elliott wave in there, which is valid. Don't take the CH1. You're going to get wrecked because the 358 is going to be all over you in that specific situation. What if the fifth wave just no? I really.
Can you repeat that last? When you see it, you said a 3-5A within a CH1. Don't take the 3-5A, or was it with the trend?
I didn't say that. I say that's added confluence.
Okay, and then you said the TC. You said when you see a trend continuation.
TC1 and you see an Elliott wave in there, yeah, you don't take the TC1. You see why?
Well, what do you mean with within a TC?
No, I'm saying if you see a TC1 and you're trying to take a TC1, which is trend continuation like this one here, you're expecting price to continue its way up, right?
Yes.
And it's not a trend, it's not it's a natural Elliott wave. What is going to happen?
Oh, if it's a completed Elliott wave, like it made the 5 wave?
If you're you're at your fifth wave and you're expecting
if you're
what is going to happen? You're going to lose.
No, if it's at the overall, fifth wave.
Overall idea is to pay attention to Elliott wave, whatever strategy you're trading, to see if you're not in a natural 358 and you might you're expecting price to push higher, but it's not, right? It bounced back down and you're losing your TC1 on this one. So,
thank you.
Yeah, I already saw Bitcoin 358 on the 1 day. And I think Craig already addressed that in the specific case. I am watching Bitcoins to maybe get rejected at 29K, and we might get an Elliott wave in there for sure. Did someone say confluence? Thank you, John Monzo, for posting that chart. If you want to take a look at all the confluence around the 358, I already discussed that, and John Monzo took an actual screenshot. Okay. Have you noticed that the trend-based Fibonacci tools and the regular Fibonacci tool gives you the same value? If you the difference between those two is that the trend-based is using 3 point and the retracement is using 2 point. So it will be different in the end in some specific case. Because the trend-based is using a multiplier. You need 3 points, right? But it depends of the 3 points. Anyway, I always use that specific tool because that's one that Craig is teaching. And yeah, for me it's nice. It's working nice anyway. We don't use the only actually you're right, because we use we go back to 0. If we would go back to 1, then that would be a specific different level. In the past, we were going to 0, 1 to the actual bottom of the wave. So if we go over here, we were doing this. So 0, 1 to the bottom of the 2. But now, since a few decision from Craig, we're doing 0 to 1 back to 0. In that specific case, yeah, the trend base, the tools is doing the same thing as the trend base the Fibonacci retracement, of course. but I'm still sticking to the same thing just by habits and because it's the actual way that Craig taught the course. So okay, let's continue. So we have a nice. I'm gonna watch for this one here to maybe develop or some things. Right now we have a 61.8. If we take a trend-based fib again, that's added confidence for your general trading. If you take the trend-based the Fibonacci retracement tool from the bottom of that wave here to the top of it, we see a general area here where at which we should see reaction. Right now, my entry is below that because I don't know what is going to happen, if price is going to hang out here and come crashing back down at those levels. But yeah, I'm watching this one. This is LDO that I'm watching. I'm watching ING as well, which has the same kind of pattern. CH1 coming up. I have Filecoin as well doing the same thing. I don't see much 358 that is worth trading right now. Yeah, so I'm watching those, but we can still go through other coins to see if there is something worth trading right now. That's on 50 minutes. I already checked that one. Now the price is going sideways though. That's an uptrend, general uptrend. Okay, I have a general uptrend as well, but nothing really. Maybe an Elliott wave getting. Yeah, we might have Elliott wave in those specific going down, going long. 1, 2. No, we don't have. I don't see anything in there. Maybe this. Nothing completed yet. We might see this here. So if we fib that, quite a bit downward, quite a bit below though. If prices continue its way down, it's going to be hard to actually get in that trade. This is ADA, which was an actual triangle, broke out of it, came back down in it. Yeah, that's a weird one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. Is this one? Yeah, it could be a 3-5 in there. If we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 below that, I would like. Oh, it's pretty close. Okay, yeah, that could be a 3-5A. Do we have a divergence of price? We don't. Yeah, we know a little bit. Yeah, it's a little divergence though. Price is doing lower low, and RSI is doing higher high, higher low. So that is correct. Do we have a trend break on this one here? We don't. Again, what I like to see in that specific situation is the ABC correction to break that downtrend like this one here. So I'm gonna watch this one.
What about if you grab your 2 as the start of 1? That's lining up to the 2618 with the divergence between the 3 and the 5. And
What do you
then
mean?
it kind
Take
of
this one here
if
as
you take
one way?
what your 2 is, it make that
It's
start of
already
1.
lining up. It's already the 50 is already lining up at the 261.8. So whatever one wave I choose, if both ones are getting aligned, I don't see the needs to actually change my. You mean this one here?
Yeah, because if you take what you have as 2 as 1, the trend to the left kind of it creates a trend break kind of, and the new 2 kind of retests that trend line on the bottom side, at least on Bing X.
If it's still the one wave, whatever one wave you choose, it's either the 261.8 or the 361.8 in that specific situation, so it doesn't matter. Does it?
Well, when you're looking for take profits, because you generally want it to be in between the 2, the
No,
1 and the
you aim for
4.
the
I guess it can
161.8
make.
or the 261.8.
Yeah,
Yes, generally you can see the price action go to those in between the 1 and the 2, but you don't look for that specifically for your take profit. That's added confidence that you can take profit maybe at the 261.8, but it's not a take profit zone. And I don't like the idea of using mid price action, right? So I like the idea of using the full price action. And the first one that I drew is a full price action. The other one is not full price action, is like a little bit below the actual price action.
Yeah, but what I'm seeing is if you draw a trend line from not the most recent low to the left of that pump, but there's three contests. Yeah, from that and then down to the left, there's a decent trend, and that's retesting the bottom side of that trend break. So it just looks cleaner.
Yeah, I'm not taking that for sure. I want the price to break that trend, right? You're talking about that trend that I drew, right? On the
No,
twin.
no, no, no. To the left of the pump. Farther to the left. Yes. See that where your cursor just was. There's a slight uptrend. Yeah. And if
So
you
you draw
drag
an
that to
actual uptrend over here,
no,
and
no, no, a little,
sorry if I don't see the thing that you want to show me though. Like this one?
it's a little it's steeper than that. It's
It
uh
cannot be steeper than that since you're 2 points over here, right?
all right, fair enough.
Maybe your price action is different on Bing X though. That could be the thing, but if you're trying to, this is the conference that you look for, like this one. No, sorry, man. I don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe on Bing
Okay.
X on the price action.
I'm gonna post what I'm talking about in
Sure.
the team chat here.
Okay, ADA could be oversold on lower time frame. Yeah, it's already oversold here. Even on the we see the flashing lights on the trade pro indicator, and that shows that the actual price might be oversold. Can we 358 max BTC one day? You're trying to do what on Bitcoin? You want a TC? You know what the 358 max is not out yet, right, Chris? Okay, let's do Bitcoins on the daily. Everybody wants to do Bitcoins on the daily. Let's do Bitcoins on the daily. Already done though. But this is what I see on Bitcoins on the daily. So we have reaction to that fourth wave, right? So for me, when I see those wicks over here, let me recircle them. I'm not going to trade that. You guys might want to trade. I just want to see where the price is going, because on the daily, that could take months to realize you take profit. And for me to get my 3-to-1 risk ratio, it's too much time for that kind of money, in my opinion. But yeah, you always have the opportunity to do that as well. So those wicks here have big reactions to those levels. So for me, the one is not crossing. Even if we see wicks, it's reaction to the fourth wave. So in that specific situation, for me, it's still valid. So we have the one wave, 3, 4, and 5. People are like drawing stuff on the. Okay, so if we fit that level here, we can see that the 161.8 is hit at the fifth. 161.8 is usually hit when we have a shallow retracement of the one wave. So if we fib using the fib retracement tool, usually it's not going to the 61.8. In that specific case, it's going to the 61.8. Usually when we have the 161.8 hit on the fifth wave, it's not. But maybe on the daily, that's more common. I don't know about that. So we have the trend line here on the twin 4 getting broke and getting a retest over here. So yes, I can definitely see Bitcoin going to the 20K again in that specific technical analysis. As for myself, I'm going to watch out for that specific level. I'm not going to enter that 3.5 in the Bitcoin. I think it's too risky right now. I know people want to do a 3.5 max, which is in that specific case, that would be to enter in a lower time frame. So if we go in the 30 minutes, maybe even on the hourly is going to be better. People are trying to get into a smaller any dot wave, like maybe this one here. We'll see. And enter those levels. Yeah, you can do that, of course. But again, it's going to take much time, right? If we fib the one wave here, 261.8 is that the entry of the oil? Yeah. So that could be a good entry. But again, your stop loss would stay the same in that specific situation. And you would see the price action going back down after that, and maybe take profit at the daily level. We'll see what the price is going to be. But yeah, you're going to see, I'd still wait for the ABC correction on this one though, to know where to put your actual stop loss. So wait for an A, B, and C. Enter at the B wave with the stop loss at your above your 5, and write it down to the actual take profit of the bigger wave, the bigger daily. But again, it's going to take like forever for you to get your take profit hit. But yeah, that's the thing you can do as well. On CAS, you have the CH1 confluence on the 3.5A. Let's do CAS. I don't have CAS on Kava. No. On what exchange are you on? Let's do Mex because Phoenix doesn't have. On what time frame are you on? 15 minutes? On 5 minutes. Okay, so we have downtrend. Some things like this. Resistance, resistance, resistance all over the place, breaking out of it. So we have a new uptrend. I'm gonna try to find a CH in there. CH is already missed though, I think. Maybe this one, no, this one, no. This one is too high. Maybe this one. Clone it on the bottom. Yeah, I don't like the CH1 though. Now for the 3.5A, I think you're already gone for the 3.5A because from what I see, this could be it. And let's fib that. Yeah, could be, but again, if that would have been the case, this is A. That's your B, and it's gone to C now. So pretty much done as of now. I'm not going into further into that, but I think it's already past the. And what exchange do you use trading? I use Phemex and Mex. I was basing it on the second small downtrend. This one here. You're going long? Okay.
Joe, we can't see your screen.
I'm pretty sure you can. Everybody can
Yeah.
see my screen, so
Yeah,
but you.
Yeah, I can see it too.
Never mind.
Okay, very nice.
Problems
Okay.
on my end.
No problem, man. So A, B, B and C. Yeah. So would be, so you're trying to long it, right? So when you're trying to long it, you have to be mindful of your overall situation. Don't be pixel peeping into your screen. Zoom out a little bit. See that we were in natural Elliott wave. Fit that level. Take your Fibonacci retracement tool. Fit that level. And you're like, okay, am I getting at this 61.8 for the fifth wave or right? So be mindful of where you are in the market and in the actual price action. So for you, this would be a one wave. This would be yeah, maybe. Let's fib that level. The 261.8 is that the actual bottom. Well, yeah, that's confluence for sure. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 at the 261.8 could be here. At the bottom of the channel that we just drew, the longing channel, the CH1 channel. So we drew that already, and we're at the bottom of it. But we're crossing the 61.8 of that move. We'll see if we're getting reaction to those levels. But my guess is that we're gonna get reaction to the 61.8, and it's gonna do something like this, but still could hit the 61.8. I'm gonna watch that, just to make sure that we don't miss any trade. It's still a little bit weird though. I'd like to see a retest of that level here at the fifth wave, at the retest of the downtrend. Now it's added confluence, but for me, the downtrend is we might have a fake out right now. So it's faking us out, going long, and now crushing back down into its short pattern. But I'm gonna watch that. Any other chart you want me to look at? Yeah, 5 wasn't on the 261.8 there. Would you still consider taking it? Ed, where you were talking about this chart or the other one on Bitcoin? In that specific case, see how we expecting now 5 to be at the 261.8. So in that specific case, we're gonna wait. Can you take a look at Blur? You guys have so obscure coin. You don't have enough coin in the top 100. You want to go on the lower cap coins? What is Blur? What market cap is that then? The lower the market cap, the more dangerous it is. Blur is huge. Huge like what? Yeah. Okay. Let's try to see. Take a look. Let's go on Bybit because I don't have time to look at for Mex on this one. So yeah, I could see an Elliott wave in there for sure. It's very clear. I don't know. You guys can see that on the 5 minutes. Tell me, pop it in the chat if you see an Elliott wave in there. If you see it. I'm gonna wait for answer, guys. So I'm gonna have to answer me though. Okay, yes. Downtrend going long, yeah. Yeah, right. So we see right off the bat, we see this. Like this one. So 3 is not smallest, 2 is not going past 0. We see a lot of complexity in 2, simple in 4, and we have the 5 over here. Now, do we have a divergence of price? Let's go on the 15 minutes. So we have 2 highlights here. So 2 oversold highlights, 1 on 3, 1 on 5, which is a good sign. We have a divergence of price over here, a small divergence, but the price is doing so much lower highs, lower low, then this is a divergence. It's not a shark fin divergence, which is fine. Let's trend. You can put at that specific case, you want to do a trend line on 3 and over here, which is not 4, but still this is the trend. Yeah, it broke it. So, okay. Are we at the 61.8 of that level? So take the fib retracement tool from the bottom of that wave, the top of it, we're not. So we're past it already. We don't have that as added protection. If we zoom out, do we have other stuff going on that could protect our trade? We are in sideways motion, though. We're not in a uptrend or downtrend, sideways motion. So no higher highs on the 1 hour time frame. But we could see a triangle though on this one. So we could see this. A wedge or a triangle, depending on. So yeah, we could see that, but we don't have the added protection of a trend line on this one here. But yeah, it could be a valid Elliott wave in there. And to find it, you usually, if we go back on the 5 minutes, you track a trend line, you trend the most recent wave, like we were in an uptrend, breaking out of it. Now it's time for you to look for a CH1 or a 3.5A. In that specific case, it's a 3.5A. And it's Cushing, it's like everything in there is nice. So yeah, every checkbox are checked. You could have a nice downtrend. Maybe it's retesting that. Yeah, could be nice. Right now you would be at entry though, if you would take that. Entry would be like, yeah. So entry, stop loss right underneath it. So that would be your A. That is going to be your B, and that's going to be your C. If B is not going any deeper than that, then you want to do B to A, back to B, and aim for the 161.8, which is about here. A little bit tight on the actual risk to reward. Yeah, still worth taking in my opinion, but yeah, you're going to pay attention to that. And if you fib the whole level using the fib retracement tool, you can see that the 261.8 is closer to the 61.8 of the whole move. So in that specific situation, you could go to the 261.8 for the take profit. That would make for almost 5 risk reward to 1. So nice trade. It is a divergence because on the 3 and 4, 3 and 5, oh wow, I'm missing stuff here. 3 and 5 is doing lower low, right? And there's no lower low on the RSI. There's a slight higher low. So that's divergence of price. If I draw a line over here, hey, wow, we get so much pushed down right now. Are you into that? Maybe it's still a good trade though. We'll see. I don't have a maximum or a minimum of trade I do in 3.5A. I do what I see, and I take the best one out of them all. So, yeah, you would have gotten stopped out on this one. Maybe if you put your stop loss a little bit lower than that. Yeah, you got stopped out. Okay, you were in actual in that specific trade. Yeah, I don't know the market cap of Blur, but usually you want to pay attention to that as well, because when you have a small market cap, you can get stopped out pretty quickly because of the actual volatility. The lower the market cap, the more the price can move from small whales or people that retails that are using high leverage, that kind of stuff. So yeah, you were on long, right? Oh, sorry guys, you got on longs. Let's take a look at Engine. Engine is doing the same thing as it does. No other real change. We have LDO that I'm still watching. No. And we have CAS here. See how it got to the actual 61.8. Now we might see a revert back up. Yeah, I'm gonna watch those for sure. Atom on the 15 minutes CH1. Let's take a look. Yeah, I didn't like I really started doing it. I was like, no, I'm not taking that because yeah, there's so much change into that price action. Is that the downtrend? Is this a downtrend? This would be a downtrend as well. For me, that's too much change in the actual downtrend to be specific on the actual CH1. Yes, Sean.
What do you consider a small market cap coin? Below what number?
Out of the top 100, I usually don't trade those little coin like
So is that like under a million? Is that what,
under a million is really
or-
small market cap. Under a million is super small micro cap.
Okay,
Under
right. Oh, so, yeah,
100 million. Under 100 million is a small market cap.
under
Over
100 million. Yeah, that's
for me,
fine.
it's a large market cap.
Right. Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, you get seeing is referring to the channel. Yeah, there is 358 everywhere. Do you consistently daily volume on coin? That's a good idea though. Gabriel, with the current market that we're in, I would still maybe consider the actual volume on the coin to make sure that I don't get wrecked on low volume stuff. I don't trade usually on the weekend. We actually signal some things on the last weekend. Usually we don't because we see lower volatility, low volume, high volatility on coins. And the only thing that we push me to actually get a signal out is that usually on Sunday it's bloody. In those type of market, it's a bloody Sunday, and we were going short, so that would be in our favor. I would not go long on the weekends to try to get a market reaction on the London opening, the Asia opening on the Sunday for sure. So be mindful of that. I avoid New York Open. Like right now, it could be a nice time to trade, but I wait for the final move on the New York Open. Like we just had a short like market crash. That is a New York Open. Usually what happens on New York Open, it's either a crash up or a pump up, but you don't want to be squeezed into this type of situation because this is what the smart money want. It want to squeeze you out of a trade. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be squeezed out. So nice, very nice. Any more questions about that? Or that would be about almost the end of this mentoring session if you don't. Okay. How long is New York Open? New York Open is I know usually Andrew doesn't want to trade 1 hour and a half past that. So in 5 minutes, Andrew would chart and trade, but before that, he would still be cautious about that and not trade. So 1 hour, 1 hour and a half after New York Open, you're pretty much safe. New York Open is the biggest open of all the markets. This is what dictates the actual which way the market is going to go. So yeah, be mindful to that. So that's it, guys. Nice mentoring session. I hope you guys had good value out of it, and stay safe. Please watch out for the trades. We have a nice CH1 coming up. I'm gonna watch for that and maybe signal it. If you guys have more trades, can post that in the peer trade as well, so other people can review that as well. You're welcome, guys, and have a great week of trading. Take care.